Hello. So, take a look at these necklaces that I've made. This is one of my first ones. It's an amethyst, of course. And then I have this one is a much more recent one that I've done. I've got my crystal ball in here, and I've got a nice little bead. It's a little bit too snug. Nice little bead to help me close up my necklace. See, doesn't fall out or anything like that. There, that's better. That one I made specifically so that I could pull my crystal ball out whenever I wanted to. Something else I like to do, I like to get a lava stone because these are really good for aromatherapy. I get my essential oils, put one drop, maybe two, and I just wear that. And I typically also wear a stone for whatever chakra I'm working on too, but I definitely like to use just any lava stone instead of having to find beads. Just any old lava stone, and some string, and I've got aromatherapy necklaces. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to make something like this. All right, let me go over the tools that you're gonna need. Scissors. These are embroidery scissors. It doesn't have to be embroidery scissors. These are just easy to carry around. Measuring tape, just to help you cut the cords, the strings or whatever you've got. I have this all here. This is very helpful for if you made a knot, you realize you don't want to make that knot, which might actually happen if you're making today's basket. You can go in and kind of help undo the knot. And what I personally do is I keep both of them in this wine cork, and then I shove that into my crafting kit, and it actually stays intact just fine. The lighter is necessary if you have synthetic cords, such as these linhasita cords, or this nylon cord right here that you can get at Michael's. You need the lighter to burn the edges, to help seal it. They sell cord burners, which I've never used. I've always just used a lighter. And the most important tool of all, especially if you're a beginner, is going to be this masking tape. And you'll see why. Okay, now let me go over the materials that you're going to need. So, the first thing you're going to need is, let's go ahead and pick a nice stone to wrap. This is Maligana Jasper. I bought it because I thought it looked like a dragon egg, and I intend to make a necklace for my daughter to wear. The other thing that you need is 4 pieces of string that are each 80 inches long. That'll make you a long enough, that can more or less make you a necklace as long as you want it, I would say. And you can use, if you want the most easy to find thing ever, I would say you can go to any craft shop. This is embroidery cord. It's very cheap. It comes in a lot of colors, and it's not too bad. It's really good for practicing with. It honestly, I've made this several years ago, like over 5 years ago, and I've worn it here and there, and it's still holding up pretty all right. So you can use this. This is a much better cord. This is linhasita cord. I think they also use it in leather making or something like that. But this is probably like the best macrame cord ever. I have it in a lot of colors because the stone I have is it's kind of, I guess that's kind of orange, which I don't actually have orange. It's kind of a brown and a black. So I'm going to use 2 different colors. You can obviously use the same color. You can use 4 different colors if you want, since we have 4 different strings. It's completely up to you. And if you are really desperate, maybe you can try yarn. I've tried to practice macrame with yarn, and practicing like a little couple inches of a particular knot is the only thing I would recommend doing. As far as making an entire necklace out of it, I did it once, admittedly, but yarn is not fun to work with. It's not really forgiving. I would only do yarn if you were really desperate. Go and get some embroidery thread if you can. And if you're interested, I got a whole bunch of these off of Etsy. I have no idea. Like, I don't think Michaels or Hobby Lobby carries this. There are also some optional supplies, and that just depends if you want to either do what I did with this one, where you just tie it around your neck. You make a knot and you're done. But if you want to be a little bit fancier, and you have this sliding closure, it's a lot nicer than tying it around your neck. I've also got a bead here too I'm using the word enclosure. That's not the word I'm looking for. I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for is, but the point is, so if you want to use, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but if you want to use the slide to close it, you can either get a larger cord, something synthetic like this. Thank you, Lilith. Or you can also use a bead. Where did I put the beads that I got? 1 second. Here are the missing beads. Okay, so these are the same size bead. This is the hole that the bead came with, but it's a little bit too snug for our purposes. So I went ahead, and if you just want to make it a little bit bigger, it really depends. I'm pretty sure you can buy beads with specific hole sizes, but they also have tools like this bead reamer here, which you can go inside and just shave off a little bit. But in this case, I thought I'm making such a big enough difference that I went ahead and I got a drill. Obviously, if the bead is like some kind of a soft stone or something, I guess maybe you have to go really slow. But I used, you can either use this one or this one right here to make the bead hole as big as you want for our purposes. I'm going to show you how to do both, so let's get started. This right here is a bead vise. This is for holding spherical little beads, and gonna use it to hold onto this.
Can we start doing the bed in the car?
Okay. Okay, so you should have 4 strings or cord cut into 80 inches each. Okay, now we want to find the middle. Put 2 of them together. It's up to you if you want them to be the same color or not. The basket's going to pretty much look the same anyway, and you can also braid it however you want later on for the actual strings themselves. find the middle. There's the middle right there. Pull it all the way to the edge. Here's where our masking tape is going to come in handy. Okay, there we go. That's the center. Now I don't have to worry about that burning off. And now we're going to get the other two cords, which I'm choosing black. And we're going to do the same thing. We want to find the middle. So just get the two ends in my hand and pull it down to find the middle. Okay. There we go. Now you can either put down another piece of tape or you can just pull off the first one. It doesn't need to be perfectly in the center, right? Okay. Alright. What we're basically going to do is we're going to do a barrel stitch to start. People have a lot of problems with this. Alright. Let's go ahead and center this a little bit better. I think that's about right. Okay. So we're gonna make a clover, I guess you could say. So we're starting off with a perfect cross, right? You're gonna put this over here. And this is why it's a lot easier to do on a table or some sort of surface. It's crossing over there, right? Now this one, we're gonna grab it. Right there. Oh, I don't think you can actually see the bottom of that. There. Let's zoom out a little bit more. Okay. Starting to get like a square, right? Now we're going to get this bottom one here. Okay. This one here. Pretty much the same thing. It's going to go over these brown ones, over this one. Going to go inside this one. So all the other ones, you just lay them on top of the other string. This one, you kind of need to thread it through. Okay. So now you should have something like this, right? Okay. Now we're going to pull on all of them kind of evenly. All right, getting a tighter square. That's pretty good. Now we're going to remove the masking tape. Whoops. That's okay. Keep pulling. The square's tightening. Okay. Tighten, tighten, tighten. There we go. So as you can see, you kind of have like a little square here, a little checkerboard, and on the other half, it's like an X. There you go. The colors are crisscrossing, and this is how we're going to start our basket. Okay. Now it doesn't really matter what side you do it on. I kind of like this side to face out more and this side to be covered by the stone, but it's not going to matter at this point. So now you have basically a cross again, right? For each string, I'm going to make a little knot, maybe, I don't know, centimeter, right? It's not a big stone. Okay, there we go. That's all right. And we're gonna do the same thing with all of these. See if you can kind of try to make them the same distance. It's not gonna be perfect. Don't worry about that. but I kind of try to lift it up and kind of check more or less where the knot should be so that it's kind of even. You wouldn't want to have one hole that's super big and it's going to pop out. And if you found out, oh, I left way too much room or it's way too uneven, you know, you can take your handy awl right here, help to undo that. Okay. Same thing on these other two. That's kind of close. Okay, they're kind of the same. They're kind of the same length from each other. Kind of close, close enough. Okay. So now, just to confirm, you should have something kind of like this, right? Great. Okay. Now, find which two look like they're kind of next to each other. I think these two look like they're kind of next to each other. You're going to grab them from the neighbors, and you're going to make a new knot. Make sure it's not any bigger than the distance you get here. A little bit smaller would be okay, but don't make it bigger, because you're going to start to get too big of a hole in your basket, and you just don't want to make a hole so big that the stone is going to fall out of. In fact, I saved this for a demonstration. I've already recorded a video. I made a mistake. I left way too much room in these upper tiers, and as a result, this little rock, it just pops right out. So it's not really not too practical, if you ask me. So make sure you're not leaving too much room when you do these knots. I like to do the opposing side, so since I did this top one, I like to do the bottom one. You could technically do the left or the right side next, but I feel like it keeps it more even if we go to the opposite side. We're picking the two strings that look like they're neighboring each other really well. Making a little knot. Kind of the same distance. So now got these two corners. Doesn't look like a proper square yet, but it will. Now these are the two neighbors left over. Gonna make a little knot for them. I'm gonna assume this is not fun if you've got arthritis. I wouldn't know, to be honest with you. Okay. Almost done. Now we're gonna knot these last two. Now hopefully you can start to see this basket taking shape. Let's go ahead and put the stone in. In fact, you're pretty much going to put the stone in every time to see how the basket's coming along. see here. That's pretty good. Should we go ahead and tie it off here? I think that might be ready to be tied off. Okay. Let's use our masking tape again. Now, you might have a larger stone. Let me show you a really big one I did. But first, I'm going to tape a little square here to the bottom of the rock so the rock doesn't move while I tie it off. Okay, now it should stay in place. As you can see, it's hanging. It's a little bit... Okay, yeah, that looks fine. I'm going to tie that off. And just for FYI, if you're like, hey, that's not enough for my stone. My stone needs another layer before I can close it. That's quite all right. I got this big blue apatite here. I did 1, 2, 3 plus 4 in the tie off right here. So do as many layers of triangles as you need. This one came out kind of uneven, I know, but he's really big too. But it works. Okay, so we have our rock here. It looks like it's ready to be tied off. So we're going to bunch it all up right here. We're going to make one big knot. That's the easiest way for me. You could also do a square knot right here, but I think it's just fine to do it like this. Put him through. I'm gonna make it kind of tight. You might get to a point where you want to pull on each individual string to help tighten it. And that's what I'm doing right here. One at a time. Just because I can't tell who's loose and who isn't. That makes it really tight. There we go. Let's just do all the black ones now. Whoa. Okay, let's take off the tape and check it out. That's what was going on. The tape was holding on to this. Alright, let's pull that out. It's one of these black ones here. Well, there you go. That was my mistake. Anyways, now you got a little basket. And I didn't make a mistake like I did with the first time and make a hole way too big for it to pop out of. Alright, so now we've got our Maligana jasper wrapped up in a nice little basket. Now it's time to make the necklace part. I could obviously do one side all brown, one side all black, but I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 black on each side. 2 black on each side, 2 brown on each side, so we get a little, kind of get a little barber pole swirl going on. Alright. So, divide up your cords however you're going to divide them. Let's see here. Okay. There we go. Okay. I think that's about even. I mean, would it look better like these two? Okay. I got 2 brown on each side and 2 black on each side. I'm being a little bit OCD here and moving this one a little closer. Okay. Alright. Your necklace is starting to form. We're gonna knot this one off just to kind of tie him off, just to not think about him for a little bit. You want to make it really loose. You're gonna undo it, of course. And now we are going to do a 4-strand braid. Now maybe you already know how to do a 3-strand braid, and you're all like, I don't want to do that. I just want to cut off this one here and do a 3-strand braid. You can definitely do that. But the 4-strand braid is a nice round braid, really nice for necklaces. So let me just show you how to do a 4-strand braid. Alright. Okay, I taped down my stone. I taped down the 4 strings that we're definitely not going to be using right now. So now we're just working with these 4 strings to make one 4-strand braid. I like to look at the 4-strand braid as a dance between 2 sets of dance partners. So right now we have these 2 dancing in the center. The 2 in the middle cross each other. And then this one over here on the right, he gets in between the 2 dancers. I'm gonna pull this up, pull it way up, pull out the stone. Okay, so right now the couple in the middle are 2 black ones. The one on the right got in, and this is the one sticking out. So he's going to go around the black couple, get in between the black couple, and now in the middle we have a brown and a black. Okay, I know this doesn't make any sense right now. You will see it start to take shape the sooner up you go. We have a black and a white couple in the center. This brown one is sticking out a little bit more. He's gonna go here, around, and then in the middle. Now the 2 that are in the middle are the 2 brown ones. The one that's sticking out, this black one here, he goes around the back of the couple, gets in between them. The 2 dancers in the middle are a black and brown. Move this black one that's sticking out. He goes around the back of the couple and in between the couple. We pull them back to tighten it. And now the 2 in the middle are black. This one is sticking out more. He goes around the couple and goes in the middle. This one is sticking out more. He goes around the couple and goes in the middle. Okay, pull it up. You can kind of start to see it take form. You might be getting a little frustrated right now. And believe me, this is the first time you've made the 4-strand braid. You're gonna make some mistakes. I'm sorry, but you are. It's fine though. After you've made this braid like 3-4 times, you'll get it pretty good. But for right now, expect to make some mistakes, especially if you have to get up and you can't remember exactly where you were, and maybe you don't quite put them in the right order, and then you look back and you go, I messed up right there. But that's okay. If you make one necklace, you're probably gonna make more. Okay, so just to recap, we have these 2 blacks dancing in the center. This brown one is sticking out. He goes behind the couple gets in between. It's now black and brown in the middle. This one right here sticking out more. He goes around the couple, goes in the middle. I'm hoping you've caught on by now. Got these two brown couple dancing in the center. This black one here is going to go around the couple, get in between. And now, we got these two in the middle, and this one is sticking out. You're just going to alternate left and right, left and right, left and right. Okay, I think I did all that in 15 minutes or something. I'm not exactly timing it. Let's say you have to stop. You gotta put it down and get back to it later. I usually can't finish a necklace in one sitting. That's pretty rare. But it's, in order to not lose your place with this one, see how this one's the one sticking out? That's gonna be the next one. Put it down on your surface. Tape it like that. There you go. Provided nobody comes and messes with it, it's not gonna go anywhere. Now, if you wanted to add your bead, you're gonna want to stop here anyway, or at any point, and get to work on this, and then we're gonna put this guy in. And you might be saying, but how long should I make it? How long should my necklace be? Well, you have a couple of options. So if you're just gonna tie it off, this one is pretty short, goes shorter on my neck. If you're just gonna tie it, this is about 10 inches long. That is as short as I'd be willing to go. This one right here, which you can just tie it a little shorter if you want it to hang higher or lower one day. This is 15 inches. I would say 15 inches is good. Go between 10 and 15 inches. If you're making this for a little kid, it doesn't have to be that big. I do want to say though, if you're going to, oh, it broke. 1 second. If you want to make a bracelet, you want to make a necklace with either the bead closure or the closure where you just use a bigger thread, then make sure your necklace is large enough that you can pull it over your head, because this is not going to be undoable if it's so short that I can't actually fit this around my head. But if you were to do 15 inches, you'd be golden. Alright, so I did so many inches of this one this side right here, and I did a little bit of this side. I'm gonna go ahead and put in the bead. So this is large enough that it's not too big of a problem to thread it through. I think I got it. I think I kept it in the same orientation. And now I gotta put this one in. A beading needle would obviously be really helpful here if you've got a beading needle. Also, do you see how I burn the edges off? It's a little, you kind of got a little tiny little bump right here in the middle. If your bead is so tight that you can't get it in, snip it off, put it in the hole, and then you can reburn the edges. I don't think I'll have to do that with this one. Let's see if I can fit all 4 of them in. Let's do 2 at a time. Remove this tape. There we go. Our bead's been attached. I might have to figure out where I am on this one again, but this one should actually be saved. Obviously, if you're not using a bead, you don't need to do that part. Let's see if I can try to fix. Okay, finished both braids now. I'm gonna go ahead and tie this one off.
That's already.
Whoops. There we go. Just put it in like okay. You can cut this as long or as short as you want, I suppose. And I'm just burning off the edges like I said I'd do. Okay, that's good. And now for the other one. Alright, now if you use the bead closure, or if you're just going to tie your necklace over your neck, then you're done. But you have the option of one more type of closure, which is not too hard to do. Like this one here, or also like, where did I put that other one? Or you could do what I did with this necklace here, and it's the same thing, but instead of just pulling on it like this one to help close it, you gotta pull on both ends. Probably makes more sense for bracelets, but you know, you can do it however you want. So for this part, you're gonna need a larger nylon cord, like maybe this big. And where'd the necklace go? Here it is. Here's our finished necklace, our nearly finished necklace. You're gonna get the 2 pieces of the necklace, and come to think of it, I feel like this is a little bit short to work with. Let me cut a little bit of a longer one. It's not that you need a lot of cord, but it's a little hard to tie the knot if you don't have room to tie the knots. You can apparently use teeny tiny little forceps or something to help do that, but I'm not doing that. So we're kind of gonna make a couple of square knots. So here we have it. You have your short, larger synthetic cord. It's gonna go over the necklaces, and this part is gonna go underneath that and through this. So we have like a pretzel, you see that? And I messed it up. Let's try that again. This one goes over here. It goes over. Oh wait. That's not it either. 1 second. Sorry about that. I remember now. Okay. You cross them like that. You got the little fish. And this guy who's over, you're gonna bring him behind it and over it. Okay. And then start pulling it close. Okay. So now we have like a little square knot. I'm gonna put this one over the front. This one will cross the top, but it's gonna go behind the necklace. Okay. Now we're gonna slowly tighten that one. Okay. So you see how this is kind of the one that's sticking out? This one has the knot forward, right? So this is gonna go in front. This one's gonna go in back. And you see why you want to have a long enough cable, because it's annoying to hold. Okay, now if you ask me, that should be a big enough slide. Now obviously you don't need to do the bead part and also the slide. You can do one or the other. I guess if you wanted to, you could do both. Nothing's stopping you. Okay. So we're gonna get really close, cut off this end here. Okay, we're gonna use the lighter to burn it in. Okay, it's melting. And now use the end of the lighter to press it in. Okay, there we go. You see how it's kind of melted in like that? That's perfect. Gonna do the same thing. Cut this little guy off. Snip. Gonna melt that end. I might have cut it a little bit long. Okay, let's see how that turned out. I think that's all right. Yeah. Yep, there you go. So, you can now put it on, well, of course, either with the bead or with the strap. But this is a finished necklace with 2 different kind of closures, whichever closure you want, or just tie it however you like to do that. Now, I can see that I made just a few mistakes on this. I think, yeah, there's a little bit of a mistake right there. I usually make it when I'm adding in the bead. And this side, it's kind of weird. I don't know what I did with this one, because at first we got the nice little barber pole thing going on here, but then I messed up somewhere, and now we have like a more subtle curve going up. So I think I did a slightly different stitch with this one. I don't know what this one is called, but this is still a pretty alright necklace. Pretty good. Now I did just do one thing wrong. Got these knots here. I should have added one more row, because look at how big this triangle is. If you try not too hard, he kind of pops out. So I think I'm gonna do this necklace for a third time. Unless of course you want it like that. But I'm gonna make this necklace again. I'm gonna make the basket again one more time. Alright, so this is the completed necklace. Third time's a charm, right? Okay, so this time I went ahead and I made sure to make an extra set of knots here to make sure that it wouldn't open on me. It goes out a little bit like that, but it won't actually pop out. It's a little bit too tight. So I noticed that it's not totally even right here. Like in some of these it's like a line, but in some of these you get like a triangle, you get a perfect diamond, another weird shape diamond, weird shape diamond. So probably when I was making this knot right here, it wasn't quite as centered as it should have been. But like I said, the stone's not liable to pop out. And I could have just made it a little bit more even to make sure that this wouldn't do it. Went ahead and used a bead enclosure. I would recommend maybe 12 inches if you're going to use one of those closures, because at 11 inches it didn't quite fit my head. My head's kind of big, so just because it didn't fit my head doesn't mean it wouldn't fit yours just fine. But that's why this one's a little bit uneven. It's a little bit bigger on this side, just to give a bigger circle to put around my head with. I am sorry if I made a lot of mistakes. This is my first YouTube video. I recorded it 2 times. If there's any parts of this that you found confusing, you need more elaboration on, let me know. I'll either answer your questions or I'll make another video. And a good reason to try to do these in parts, what I tend to do is I make the basket and I might take a break. I make one side of this and then I take a break and then I make the other side. If you kind of do a little bit what I was trying to do this time around, where I wanted to finish it as soon as possible because I wanted to get the YouTube video out as soon as possible, you're more likely to make mistakes. So don't be ashamed to take breaks when you make your necklaces, okay? You can be a little bit less patient with bracelets. You'll finish those a lot quicker. And if need be, I can probably do a video on a very, very similar wire wrapped bracelet if you'd like. So just let me know, and you have a good day. Bye now.